Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Before I Go podcast. I believe that no matter how old you are, there is always another lesson to be learned. And today on the podcast, I want to share with you what I learned from a dead battery. First, let me tell you a little bit about me. In case you don't already know, I am a single Black woman, a single, strong, independent Black woman. The thing is, I've been strong and independent for my entire adult life, whether I had a partner or not. For whatever reason, I did not give myself permission to be anything else. Anyway, as a strong, independent, single woman, would it surprise you to learn that I struggle with certain insecurities? Well, it shouldn't. We all have insecurities, whether we choose to recognize them or not. One of my insecurities is I am fearful of being perceived as weak or helpless. Historically, I would overcompensate by doing everything in my power to prove just the opposite. I would do things like cut people out of my life after the smallest of indiscretions while saying, "You'll need me before I need you." I've walked out of jobs that I needed just to prove that you weren't going to talk to me any kind of way. I even refused child support after my first marriage ended just to prove that I can survive on my own. By the way, I do not recommend this behavior at all. I wasn't proving my strength. I was proving how reckless and, quite frankly, how stupid I could be. Anyway, I am working on being more vulnerable and recognizing that showing weakness allows God to step in and show His strength. On this journey, however, there are moments when the enemy steps in and whispers in my ear and tells me that because I am single, that I am helpless. That because I can't keep a man, I am nothing and can't do anything on my own. Sounds pretty harsh, right? And that is exactly how I hear it. I feel berated and like I'm being taunted. I feel like the enemy is taking the thing that scares me the most and amplifies it by 1,000,000. I never want to be perceived as weak, so my enemy tells me all the reasons why I am exactly that. The main reason that he focuses on is because I'm single. It's a total mind game, and if you don't know that, you will lose every time. These moments are few and far between, but it happens. Sometimes I can brush it off, and sometimes it overwhelms me. But God is faithful. So here's the situation on the dead battery. I own 2 cars. One is a Mercedes convertible, which I bought a few years back used, and I love it. The second is a Chevy SUV, which I bought because driving the Mercedes in the winter sucks. It can't handle icy roads, and for the few times that Virginia Beach has snowstorms, I would have to stay in the house until the snow melted because neighborhood roads do not get plowed. So for the most part, the Mercedes just stays in the garage. And I know I should probably start it up occasionally so it's not just sitting there, but I don't. Anyway, recently I decided that I wanted to drive it to work because the temperatures were rising and it had been a while since I had driven it. I went out to the garage to start it up and it wouldn't start. The battery was dead. Thankfully, I had the SUV, so I drove that to work. So let's rewind just for a minute. A few years back, God gave me the wisdom to purchase a portable car battery charger so I could jump a battery without needing cables or another vehicle. I highly recommend you picking one of these up. So I bought it and I put it in the car and forgot about it. I knew that I could use this to start up the Mercedes, but here's the thing. In all the years that I have had the Mercedes, I had never even looked under the hood. Hell, I didn't even know where the battery was. I searched YouTube and found a video that showed me where the battery was on my model of car and how to hook up the charger and start it. The whole process took no time at all, and I was back on the road. Now, this may not seem like a big deal to you, but for me, it was God simply reminding me that I am not helpless. That me not having a partner doesn't make me less than. I am whole and complete, and everything I need, I have. God reminded me in that moment that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All things. And then I look back and I look around my house and I'm reminded of all the things that I was able to accomplish with God alone. I purchased my home. I purchased and put together furniture all on my own. I ordered the parts and fixed my clothes dryer instead of buying a new one. I replaced the handle on my toilet. I cut my own grass and maintained my own cars. I am not helpless. No, I don't know everything, but I know that God gives wisdom if I just ask him for it. I know that with him, I can do all things. Please do not misunderstand. The message here is not that I don't need a man. The message is that I am not helpless because I don't have one. The truth is, even when I had a man, I was doing all this stuff on my own. And it's not because I wouldn't allow them to help me. It's because I was choosing people who did not know how to offer help without making me feel some kind of way. Quick story. I met someone once who could have been a potential mate. And during one of our first conversations, he was going on and on about he's so handy around the house and he can fix anything. I'm like, okay. I guess he thought that was a selling point. Anyway, he asked me if I hired someone to cut my grass, and I told him no, I cut it myself. He then literally snorted with derision and asked, do you fix stuff around the house too? Almost as if that was a bad thing and it somehow made me less feminine or something. Needless to say, that relationship never materialized. Bottom line, I am not helpless, and neither are you. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening. Before I go, let me share this with you from Friedrich Nietzsche. What does not destroy me makes me stronger. I'll see you next time.